Lair, Pistoleta, and soon-to-be Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, successor of 6 crowdfunding campaigns, self-published professional for over 5 years, critically writing for over 15. Welcome to my first ever Streamcast featuring Michael Beacon, creator of 7 Legions. Mike, what's going on? Take it away.
Not much. I'm just, I got 7 Legions going on Indiegogo. It's a sci-fi, fantasy, historical fiction space epic about an orphan who becomes a samurai who takes on a galactic threat. Every night when he goes to sleep, he has dreams that are the memories of an angel named Azrakal, who served the 7 Legions for 2,000 years before he vanished after uncovering a plot to destroy them from within.
All right, you're throwing a lot out here. These are critical tidbits that I don't want to miss. This is critical. First of all, I'm going to share your campaign real quick here, okay, just so we get a feel for what you're selling. And sorry if this is taking a little bit long. Yeah, entire screen share. Okay, and let's get a look on it right here. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so the first picture is what I'm seeing, right? This is what's selling me on your book, right? And it's like feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Okay. So but real quick, you said galactic. So you throw this is now it's getting epic. We're getting into epic territory here. So this is what I'm gonna do. I want you, okay? I want you to give me like the elevator pitch for this, right? Pretend I'm like this producer. I don't know, you got me in you caught me, right? We're in a convention. You got me in a corner. You know who I am. I don't know, publisher, whatever. You got the book in your hand and you're showing me this cover, this image, right? Or maybe it's this one. I like this one. I don't know if this is going to be your cover shot. Is this your cover shot here?
Oh, no, that first one is.
Okay. So is it this one?
Yep, that's the cover for issue 2.
Okay, great. So here's your cover. You got your book in your hand. You got your cover. I want that elevator Hollywood pitch that's just going to zero me in. And we're going to go for it right now.
An orphan becomes a samurai and takes on a galactic threat. It's Star Wars meets Skyrim mixed with an Akira Kurosawa film. It's sci-fi, fantasy, historical fiction, space epic.
Dude, what'd you say the second time? Because that's what caught me.
It's a Star Wars meets Skyrim and an Akira Kurosawa film.
Okay, awesome. So now you got me a little bit, but I'm still confused because I see the feudal Japan, but you're telling me Star Wars meets Skyrim. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting somewhere into a universe because I'm telling you, that's your pitch, but you're telling me. Even though I don't see it outright on the cover, I know we're getting there. So I'm intrigued. So you got me intrigued. And then when you say with a bit of Akira Kurosawa in there from Akira, like, you know, Akira Kurosawa, that's your samurai connection right there. So you did a lot. So I like your little elevator pitch. As a publisher, I'm saying, come on, let's walk over to my little table right here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to want to know a little bit more about your book. So before we get into the 7 Legions, I want to know, what have you been writing? What made you write? Like, what put you to create 7 Legions? How'd this come about?
Well, it initially started off as just a story of a Ronin who was trying to find out who his real family was. And it'd basically be like an adventure throughout all the battles of that time period. Just like a time of like chaotic civil war. But as it went on, it sort of became like a supernatural thing, like where he started encountering angels and stuff. And then it became a sci-fi fantasy thing after I learned about the Chariot of the Gods stuff, which I don't believe in that, but it's kind of cool to think about. Just like all these, like how the idea that creatures from myths and all that were actually aliens. So like in this universe that I've created, if you were to live in this universe on Earth, history would be exactly as it is in ours. But that's because humanity's forgotten the history that came before that, where humanity had spread to the stars, encountered all the other races, and established the 7 Legions. And but then betrayed everyone else and got essentially bombed back to the Stone Age, is where our history starts. But oh, you dropped out. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was the one who went out or he was. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well. Okay, so I guess what do people in the audience? All right. Okay, there you are.
All right, that was interesting.
I was like, am I going offline? Is he?
I had no clue. I thought it was you going off, then it was me. Okay, so let's get back into the fray here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting used to this. Okay, so we were talking about your awesome, your pitch. We got into the galactic part of it, and you were telling me something, and then somehow I got cut off. So let me share the screen again.
Okay.
Do you remember where we got cut off at?
Something about talking about the influence, I guess.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's go back. Okay. Right. So we're saying that you hooked me on the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
You got me on the elevator pitch. Okay, great. So now we're talking, and now actually, okay, how'd this come about? How'd Seven Legions come about? Your influences, yeah.
Yeah. So it started off as a samurai story about a Ronin trying to find out where he comes from.
Okay.
But eventually got to the point where I learned about the whole ancient astronaut theory, and I just sort of adapted all these fantasy races
Nice.
to like as sci-fi races on other worlds. Essentially, Earth in this universe is like treated with a prime directive approach, like from Star Trek. So like human history goes on as it always had, but as it did in our universe. But in this universe, it's part of a much larger history. But I've been writing. I got in 7th grade. I had written a Star Wars script, and I've always been interested in Star Wars. That's why it eventually got into the Star Wars side of it.
And what is it about Star Wars that, like, I think everybody loves the fact that, a lot of stories, it's even mine's the story I'm doing. I call it like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But with capybaras, like what is it? What is it with Star Wars for you personally? That you want to emulate within Seven Legions, or just in a different kind of way with with the samurai? Like what is it? Like how'd that come about?
See, I think it's more like the fleshed out sort of universe. Like it feels like it's like it feels like an actual tangible thing. It's like there's like all this detail that went into that. Like a lot of the sci-fi movies of that time, you just get like it'd be like some guy in a sparkly spangly outfit going off with like a hairdryer. But when Star Wars came around, it's like it had all these props, and it looked like even if it was just something that like just taped a bunch of stuff together, it's like, okay, I guess it's like a sci-fi gadget. It's like it looked like it served a purpose. Like I think just the Star Wars universe feels like something that like you can almost feel like it's real. Like I could get engrossed in it because it's like all the detail that's in that universe, and like
it's easy to get engrossed in it, right? Just because the way the story works, Luke as a character, we feel like we could relate to him because he's what is he, like a farm boy, and then he gets in this adventure. It's just like you feel like, man, I'm just a nobody, like, okay, and then wow, you just you walk into this epic plot that you just stumble upon, and then just things unfolding and everything that tied into that, for sure. It's easy to get lost into. And I think a lot with, you also said Skyrim. You have like a bit, so you're a gamer then, right? Is there some gamer in you?
Yeah. It's got a lot of like, fantasy influence. It depends on which generation of person I'm talking to about the story. Like if it's like an older generation that doesn't play video games, I'll say maybe something like Lord of the Rings or something, or but like it's got like all these different fantasy races, and Skyrim is like one of my big gaming influences, because again, it's a big engrossing universe, like where you can just like get into like you can get into the detail and all that.
I think with me, when I played Skyrim, I'm the dude that for some reason I want to like find the Assassin's cult real fast.
Yeah.
And I just want to do all their missions, and I just want to feel like I'm an assassin in this world, and I just pretty much kill all the characters I could think of.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, let me get to the main story now, and hopefully I didn't kill anyone pertinent. But it's just, that's what I love about it. Like, it's just such a big, big, big world, and you're just getting lost in one side mission. But you grasp onto that influence as far as when you're creating your story, you want to create something where that's, I guess, as immersive as what you remember from video games, right? Or what you connect with video games.
Yeah. And like, just like something like that's, fully fleshed out. It's like, feel like you can just like, find yourself in.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me, okay, so I'm on this action page here. For some reason, this one caught my attention. Okay. And we have this female ninja. What's the female ninja again?
Kunoichi's.
Kunoichi, right? Knows with a K. Kunoichi. So we got our Kunoichi here, right?
Yeah.
What? Holy cow. Okay, so I got this panel. She's jumping up, springs up. She skewers this dude's forehead.
Yeah.
Tell me about her. She seems really cool.
What's going on there is there's actually two of them. They sort of have this like they're sort of twins. Like they're identical cousins. One specializes in ranged weapons. The other specializes in like hand-to-hand combat. But they are going to be the adoptive mother of the protagonist, Tico.
Okay, got you.
Oh, the bow one is, her name's Osora, and the one with who impales the guy on the face is Kade. They're essentially they help raise him and train him, and that's his father down there.
Right here. So this is the father. Okay.
Yes. Nice. They adopt him, and
I'll give you one thing. I like the violence. I'm the kind of guy. Listen. Let me preface this by saying violence doesn't work without a story. Okay, there's got to be stakes. There's got to be something. Like if you just have a comic book and it's literally just character X and he starts mashing everyone, killing everyone, that could be entertaining, but we're still going to want to know why is he doing what he's doing and what's driving him. And then, okay, is there a threat to stop him or whatever? So I like the fact that I'm seeing a good amount of violence in here because this is just my personal preference. I like seeing violence in comics. I like that you don't hold back.
Yeah.
And I like that you're telling me that there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. So like what's going on at that point? The village that Hiko comes from has been burned down by this army that's in the purple. They're called the Saito clan. They burned them as part of an ambush to get to these characters. And they have kidnapped someone from the village, and now Hiko's adopted father, Yoshinobu, and Kade and Osora, they're all going to rescue them with their forces.
Nice.
So they sort of launch a night raid on the camp and rescue her.
Yeah, so this here is another good action panel here. We got let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels here.
Yeah.
And I think the action is it's fluid enough where we know what's going on. And we have there's 2 factions here going at it. And it's coming together very nice. Who did the artwork on this, and who's the colors on this?
So I'm the colorist on this, and the art. The artist is Pablo Romero.
Okay.
On these pages, each side of the story, each issue is split into 2 parts. There's the sci-fi fantasy side that's like the dream.
Okay.
And then you got the historical fiction side, which sort of like is the continuing journey of Hiko. But the two cross over time. Actually, you start to see that in issue 2, as Hiko realizes that these dreams are more than dreams, and that he is part of something bigger.
He's somehow interconnected. Is this is a futuristic? This is the galactic part here, right?
Yeah. So
is this a dream sequence, or this is just?
It's a dream that's a memory.
Nice.
Yeah. So
now, in the first issue, do you explain kind of like how this? Because you said the first one has 2 parts, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way how you branch it? How you show how it goes from like feudal to like this galactic, futuristic setting?
Yeah. So in issue 1, it starts off with the dream, and you got these little the black and white text bubbles. They're sort of they're Hiko's thoughts as he's listening to this.
Very cool.
And the black text bubbles are like there's a telepathic character who finds him and sees that he's dreaming these things. He's like, "Okay, kid, this isn't just a dream. There's something more going on here." And he's sort of helping him understand what's going on.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. So, like, okay, is this your first entry into crowdfunding?
Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't crowdfunded anything before?
Yeah, I haven't yet.
All right. So when did you start creating or fleshing out what's the first issue here?
I started the first issue early last year.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It says, I just caught this blurb right here. This is a series 13 years in the making?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Nice. I started writing it as a novel at first.
Okay.
And it's sort of like, as it grew, it sort of, gained all these extra influences and became what it is now. I tried writing as a webcomic at one point. I tried doing that all by myself. My art was not anywhere near ready for that.
So you dabble in art as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so where? Okay.
Yeah. So and then during Gamergate, I saw these people who were like, there was like small groups who were trying to make stuff, and I was like, hey, maybe I can make this into a little RPG Maker game, but I didn't have the experience for that. But then when Comics Day came around, I was like, okay, now there's people who are getting serious about making comics, and I just found a team and started working on it.
So where'd you find Pablo Romero? Where'd you find him? How'd you scout him out?
I found him on Twitter. I'd been seeing his stuff for a long time.
Nice.
And he was, and I finally just sort of asked him, and
that's cool. So you felt like you wanted to try it out as a game, and then you know what you really comics and gaming. I don't know how people might not see the connection, but I'm also a big gamer. I haven't haven't been gaming as hardcore as once you have a family, you just can't.
Yeah.
But every now and then I make some time to just escape through gaming. And one thing that pulls me in through gaming, and people don't realize, or a lot of people do, the ones that game know, there's a lot of narrative firepower coming from video games.
Yeah.
And I feel that as video games are visual, comic books are also visual.
Yeah.
So there's something there that goes hand in hand. And
oh, losing you again. Oh. Okay, I guess back to me. All right. Yeah, true. Well, I guess until he comes back, what do you have any questions about the story? All right. Okay.
Like, sorry about that. I was in like this groove, and then I'm like, why is he not answering me? And I'm like, I don't know what's up with my Wi-Fi. It just never happens. I've done a ton of streams or guests on streams. But anyway, where was I cut off at, dude?
Something about video game narratives, I think.
Right. So you there's a big influence with video games, a connection between video games being visual, comics book are visual, right? And there's a connection here. Then we saw some of your gaming influence at work here. I was mentioning Under the Flesh. Was I cut off by then?
I think you were before then.
Okay, right. So I was saying when I did my first comic, Under the Flesh, I didn't realize subconsciously, I guess when I sent it out for review, some people that reviewed it, they said like it felt like a video game or read like a video game, how I introduced the characters. And like I just didn't realize that. So now I see with your work here, I'm finding out that whether you know it or not, there's a connection with the video gaming, probably subconsciously, in how you're thinking about this story and presenting it. So I think some of your gamer influence is kind of bleeding into this project here, and I think it's a cool thing. Just the whole aspect of the Ronin trying to figure out his family or trying to figure out where he came from. That when you said that to me, I was already picturing like a character I'm going to be controlling in a game world. I'm just saying because that's how I'm built gaming wise, and I feel like there's a lot of creators, comic creators that have this gaming background, and video games. A lot of them bring an interesting narrative perspective. I think that when it comes to storytelling, video games are a powerhouse in how they deliver their storytelling perspectives. And I think what you got here is pretty interesting, and the fact that you're tying it in with the galactic connection, the space connection. That shows that, hey, we've seen maybe the traveling Ronin or the dark past or whatever, but we haven't seen it where I'm tying it into this Star Wars type Skyrim universe. You know what I mean? And I think that's where you're gaming. I don't know. I feel like that's a good connection here. And I don't know if you see it or not, but I think that's something to be lauded. And I think that's a lot of comic book creators, if they game a lot, that subconsciously they're using what they know from storytelling in these mediums, and they're transitioning it through comics.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is pretty awesome. The fact that you got a great artist on here, his lines are pretty good. You doing the coloring work, you're only going to develop more.
So I actually have 2 artists on issue 2. I had a different team on issue 1. There were some issues with that. But on issue 2, I got Henry Ponciano, who did Tinseltown for Alterna. Yeah, he's the guy who did the cover, and awesome. He's doing the sci-fi side.
All right.
So like the way I got that idea is I just when I first put out the call to do issue 1, I had 2 artists with like these different art styles, and I wanted to work with both of them. And I realized, this guy has a more dreamlike style, and this guy has a really grounded style. It's like, well, there's 2 halves of the story, separate them by style, give them a different feel, and that's how that idea came about. But yeah, they're both my artists now, Henry Ponciano and Pablo Romero. They're doing great. Pablo's art style, his anime style, really reminds me of like someone pointed out. I think it was Fist of the North Star. Nice. It sort of has a little bit of that in his style, like that. Like real retro, really makes you feel nostalgic for like 2.
I definitely see the retro in his lines. I see what you're doing. And I think that was a good mix to have him do the samurai or the feudal Japan parts, and then kind of switch it over for the other artists to do the futuristic parts, right?
Yeah,
I think that's cool. And I think as far as that's something, I mean, I don't see that too often. I don't think that's something that we see too often. But the fact that you're integrating it and it has a reason and a purpose for the storytelling, I think that's pretty unique. And I think it goes to show that you have a good knack for what you want to bring out and how you see you envision your book. And I think it's pretty clever because it helps for the immersion. When you're in this feudal Japan part, you got this more throwback style, tied into the Japanese culture and the art, and then now you got, when you're futuristic, you got someone that can handle the futuristic aspects pretty good. And I think that's what makes comic books fun, and that's what makes getting lost in escapism pretty good. So if you'd have to say what your message would be in this book, like what would be your message, like, or just like some themes or something that you're playing with, because at the end of the day, we got to have some kind of message, right? We do a story. I know we're not throwing agenda down here, right? We're doing no SJW chokehold on this. But you're trying to show, through storytelling, a cool message. What would you say your message touches on when people read this to the end?
The value of the individual, essentially, because there's going to be a lot of collectivist things that he will come across. There's people saying, all the peasants are worthless, all the nobles are hateful, they're all like, they don't care about. But he's going to, in his own life, he's going to encounter people who are peasants, who are good people, who work hard every day. But there's also going to be some bad ones. He's going to encounter some nobles who are who deeply care about the lives of the peasants, and you're going to see those who don't care at all. And among the fantasy races, when you start going to the sci-fi side, I got the race, the demons. They're essentially space Nazis. They think they're better than everyone else. They'll go on raids. They'll slaughter people ruthlessly. But you're going to have some among them who realize that that's wrong, and they'll turn on that, and they'll leave that way of life and contribute greatly to the other races,
the other cause. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like, and then in issue 3 you're going to see a lot of that, because if if we are able to fund up to that point. Because there's actually a story where one of the demons, he sees what's wrong, he sees what they're doing wrong, and he's abandons his old army. And then you're going to see like an orc who in issue 2, the orcs are the bad guys, but you're going to see one who he fights and dies for one of the goblins who they had enslaved. So
nice. So there's method here. Your world building has a purpose, and even your demons, you were showing that, hey, if you're just looking at a demon and you're seeing all this pillaging and you think that's that they're one dimensional, you know, clearly between the turmoil between themselves not aligning with that, vision or whatever, their values shows that, hey, these space Nazis, some of them are for that lifestyle. So I think that's good.
Yeah, and and then you're also going to see like among the angels, there's going to be there's most of them are going to be good, and there's like the fallen angels. It's like a when an angel does commits what they consider to be a grave sin, their halo, they'll actually lose their halo, and that's basically like a scarlet letter essentially. Mm-hmm. So, but you'll have some fallen angels who are good people, and you'll have some angels who aren't fallen who are terrible people, and that's going to be one of the things that you're going to find out why that is, like what the halo actually means and all that.
I don't think you noticed, but you have another. There's another gaming connection here. I don't know why I'm making these gaming connections, but just the fact that you said like they lose the halo, right? Like if they do something bad, it just makes me think of like some of these games. I don't know if you ever played these games like World Fable or like Mass Effect or like some of these games or Couture. Like you gotta like, and you're supposed to follow one way, but if you're following too much that way, you kind of see the effects of your choices through how your avatar looks. And just when he said they can lose the halo, I thought that'd be cool. Like if you see an angel with half a halo, maybe he did something kind of like where he's on the redemption spark, or you know what I mean? Like, do they all start out with the halo? Do they got to earn it? But these are little tidbits that add to the world building, add to the universe, add to what you're creating. So I think it's pretty clever. I think it's cool. How long is this campaign going for? You just launched. I saw that you're pretty strong. You're almost at 1,000. Which is pretty great. You got 20-something days left. So, I mean, I don't see why, this project can't fund. And you're thinking for the big picture, which is also great.
Yeah.
So for anyone who watches this, my little audience here that I know are hardcore when it comes to campaigns and such, definitely give Michael's 7 Legions a look. The pitch he gave me, if I remember correctly, was it's Star Wars meets Skyrim with like a dash of Akira Kurosawa or something like that.
Yeah.
Or is that it? Yeah, and Akira Kurosawa, we've seen those black and white. If anyone's in their film history, we see feudal Japan. Akira Kurosawa made his indelible impact with Seven Samurai and countless other stories. And there's influence that Michael's drawing on. So the book, from what I see, looks like it's going to be fun. You got a feudal Japan mixed with a intergalactic connection there through memories and everything. So it's definitely not something that's been done, at least from what I've seen. So I think that it's worth a look. His goal is reasonable. I think, was it 3K?
Yeah. So
I mean, it's a 3K goal that hits his first campaign. So hopefully on Indiegogo, definitely he's a CG guy. He's with Comicscape. We have a lot of Comicscape support on Twitter, and it's just a matter of just getting that exposure, bringing these projects to their eyes. So after we finish the video, I'll definitely tweet it out. I'll definitely post about it. I'll say, you got Ronin and demonic space Nazis in a world that goes beyond what you think. So 7 Legions is definitely, something good. I hope you make it. Of course, crowdfunding is definitely, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
It comes with its stress. Your campaign, I think, will do good, will do great. But let's just say worst case scenario, you always got to prepare for the worst. Like say if you don't fund, that doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah.
Never means it's over. It just means more learning. So you just retool. You just, you come back, take a deep breath, and you go right back in the ring, and you scrap up again. But you got a good story, Mike.
Thank you.
And overall, let's say if you could have your wish, what do you envision with Seven Legions?
This story would be a 30-issue series, and it's essentially just the introduction to a much larger universe. So I could see this becoming a whole set of series set in this universe. There's stories to tell all throughout the history of this setting. I got one story that I could do at one point that'd be like a sci-fi Clash of the Titans. There's just all sorts of stuff. And yeah, if this first series becomes a success, then that'll be possible.
Well, everything starts with one step, and we take baby steps. So 30 issues is definitely an ambitious goal, and you're starting on the right track from what I'm seeing. So as long as you deliver your product, you treat your audience well, you cultivate it, there's no way it can't make to 30 issues. I've seen crowdfunding campaigns build a good following, and I don't know if I have seen up to 30. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure someone was at 30 for sure. As far as someone that came straight from crowdfunding, I know there's people who do web comics and that goes on and on, but I'm talking about like floppies, first issues, traditional, and what you're trying to do. I've seen some people go pretty high. 30 I haven't seen, but not to say it can't be done. And you got small, reasonable goals, and the more people get invested in the story, they're going to want to know more. And then you have the Indiegogo campaign for the trade paperback, right? So, you build some funds that way, then, you're definitely doing it the right way.
Yeah. Thanks.
And, yeah. So hopefully we can see this one get funded. What are some of the tiers you got? I saw, let's see if we could just share this real quick, and we'll go a quick rundown of what you're offering and see the price points and stuff.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. All right, you see the screen there?
Yep.
All right, great. So, okay, first campaign, we're already almost at 1,000, and that's pretty awesome. And what we have here is 29% of a fixed goal. So the good thing is you're going to get some money. You're going to get $8.95 for sure, right? So tell us about this, because I crowdfund, right? Now I want to know. I'm sure people might want to know. This is a 3,000 fixed goal. If, let's say, you still got a whole lot of time, almost a whole month left, so that's a lot of time. But let's say if you get like 2,000 or you get 300 or you don't make your goal, but you're close. Are people going to get their books?
3,000 is the is what we have to reach. So.
Oh yes, my bad. I'm reading it as it's flexible. Forgive me, guys. It's not. You ain't getting no money out of this, okay? We need to help him with the money. There we go. This is a fixed goal. Where the heck am I?
So
this is he needs it. We got to push this. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to, set a flexible goal to where well, what if I only make 500? Like, oh, well, now I got to still provide. But
then you got to provide a lot out of pocket. All right, so that's a very fair goal. He's creeping up on the 1,000 mark, which is great. And let's see some of these. Let's see what we got here for some of our perks. We got our featured print tier. What do we got here? What's going on here? Okay, I see 3 books here, or a pinup, right?
Yeah, it's issue 1, issue 2, and a print. But as we unlock more stretch goals, you start off with just 1 print on that. But we reach the second stretch goal. You get an additional print. And that's all right. That's that poster right there with the ninjas and the samurai.
Okay, that's a nice one. That's
and then 3 more stretch goals, we unlock another one up until we get to 6 prints that you can get for
Holy cow! Yeah.
Yeah. And they're 11 by 17s.
Awesome. So the guys, you're getting some good stuff. I printed out in my campaigns a few 11 by 17 prints. They're nice size. They're beautiful.
Yep,
They're
I got one of them hanging up on my wall right now.
awesome. You see, so he already knows, and he's offering it to you guys. Physical copy. We got, what do we got here? Two versions of the book, or one variant cover they could choose.
Oh no, it's issue 1 and issue 2. And again, if we reach the stretch goals, we got issue 3 will unlock. You'll get that. If we reach the stretch goals, on up to issue 5. So all the books that we fund with this, you're gonna get. And
that's awesome.
we also have swag items, dog tags, stuff like that.
Okay.
Any of those we get will unlock, and you'll get them with the physical copy and anything above.
Guys, I gotta admit, I like what I'm seeing here personally. We got some cool stuff. There's some cool tiers. There's actually a lot of perks, and there's incentives for stretch goals that you guys will be getting a lot of additional stuff. If you can get to the 3rd issue, that's even great. Up to 5 issues. Here's some of the awesome artwork that we'll be seeing. This definitely is, a well thought out project, and it's well put together. And you're getting 2 issues literally for $20, and I think that's pretty good. How many pages per issue? Is it traditional, like 24 page, 28 page? What are we looking at?
Issue 1 is 20 pages, and every following issue is 30.
Beautiful. How awesome is that? So right here, you get 50 pages of comic books for $20. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. And then we got some other cool. I see what's this perk here. I know we got the international double pack. Okay, what's this one here? Because this one kind of caught my attention. Enemy of the Legions, and someone claimed it, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, so you get drawn in as one of the bad guys in the issue.
Very nice.
Yeah, issue 2, you get drawn in as an orc. The first backer of that, he's going to get drawn in as an orc who takes a axe to the face from a dwarf on a jetpack. So
you got him to sign off on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what sold him on it. Dwarf on a jetpack axes him in the face.
It's the id calling, right? Like sometimes we want to see ourselves go out in some gruesome ways, and comic books could provide that. And this is what I like about comic books. And we got some cool rewards here. Not only could you be featured, on different faction sides, you also, at least in this case, he's getting a kill shot. He's getting a kill panel. Yeah, we'll see his execution. So that definitely looks pretty cool. Your goal's reasonable, man. Everything looks great here. So I think what your elevator pitch, I think with what you're doing here, it's definitely a breath of fresh air. And I definitely hope you fund. And this is a big project, so a world you can definitely get lost in. So look how it starts out. In a galaxy at risk, a young samurai will prove their greatest hope. Right? Normally, when you think of samurais, you're not thinking about a galaxy. You're thinking of maybe that town. You're thinking of the province. Maybe the empire. Just got to be. You're thinking of like a state or a city or some. A country. You're not thinking about the galaxy. So this is really deep. Just on that line, right? And we have different factions. We got demonic space Nazis. We got our angels. We got civil war. And let's look. What I'm going to do now is focus on some of this awesome art. Here we have. This would be a print, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, if this stretch goal gets unlocked, this looks pretty beautiful right here. You did the colors on this yourself?
Yeah.
Man.
And the line art on this one is Henry Ponciano.
Nice. How long have you been coloring?
I've been doing a lot of digital art for like maybe the last 5 years. Yeah, I would draw my own stuff, and I was just sort of like not confident in it. And I started coloring other people's stuff. It's like, okay, I'm actually kind of getting decent. When I was getting ready to launch issue 1, and I went on a stream, got critiqued heavily, but that critique really kicked me up a notch because just like the advice they gave me, really improved things. And yeah, now I'm I'm doing my own. I'm coloring my own project. I'm coloring Dusty Tortillas.
Nice.
So
that's another project on Indiegogo. So Michael, as we could see, not only is he coloring his own stuff, he's coloring other people's stuff. I'm always crowdfunding stuff, so I might reach out to Michael for some future work as well. And that's just how we'll see like community grow. We see relationships being formed, and we see talent develop. So if anyone backs my books through Under the Flesh, through Lair, Piece to Lair, and everything I'm doing now, Galactic Workers Mayhem, you're going to see my writing craft hopefully improve, right? Or just see the range I got. With Michael, you'll see even his writing, and you'll see his coloring improve as well. So there's a lot to get excited, I think. I feel like Comicscape, there's a lot of underground stuff going on that people are just not seeing. And I want to just put stuff out there. Even indie comics, I won't hate on anyone, even though I align with CG. But if anyone out there that wants to talk about their book, an indie book, I'm willing to take a look at it and give you some time. Michael here has been awesome. He's a gamer. Some of that influences has crossed over onto his storytelling with comics. Look at this panel here. I gravitate to this because this is a cool action scene, and his colors here are nice.
Yeah, one of the things about that page.
Yeah,
like one of the things I'm so glad about having found Pablo. He does a lot of his own research. You see how they got those cords wrapped around their arms from the guns? I had no idea that they did that. And then I was like, well, is that really a thing they did? I look it up. Sure enough, cool. You see people reenacting stuff in Japan. Like we've got Civil War reenactors.
So what are the cords for? Did he mention?
I think it's essentially like a fuse cord. So that's how they get the spark, I guess. Or yeah. So he did his own research, found out stuff I didn't even know, and I've been researching this stuff for a while. But
no, this is pretty. That's attention to detail. So he got a careful artist who's. Let me tell you, I mean, there's artists that will copy and paste something and whatever, but you have artists that definitely will research something and put their hand touch on it, their artistic fingerprint on it, and that attention to detail goes a long, long way.
Yeah.
So Michael, real quick, let's for those if anyone checks on a little bit later, give us that elevator pitch and tell us why we should consider backing your book. Why? Definitely share it out. I mean, because I understand budgets, and I know there's so many great comics around, and trust me, as a family man, I know it gets hard. I want to back as many books as I can personally, and I look to backing a lot of time. I back the digital just because it allows me to back I backed 30 something campaigns already, and a lot of them were the digital version. Although I wish I could have the physical, but I noticed here you don't offer digital, right? Are you not?
Yeah,
is it for copyright maybe, or pirating, or just you?
A lot of it was piracy issue, and I'm planning to give out the digital copy with okay,
awesome.
So to the backers.
There you go. So guys, you're gonna get that PDF or digital version of the book with each backing, it seems. So that's gonna be good. So all right, take it away, Mike. Tell us a little bit about. Give us that elevator pitch one more time and tell us why we have to back Seven Legions.
Okay. An orphan becomes a samurai who takes on a galactic threat. It's Star Wars meets Skyrim and an Akira Kurosawa film, a sci-fi fantasy space epic. This is a book that's going to get better. That's going to become a better deal the more backing it gets. So get on it early and build up momentum. Get it so that we can. It's like this could be a great deal for you. $50 gets you the print tier. You could we reach our maximum funding goal. You'll get 5 issues and 6 prints. So
guys, there you have it. Michael Beacon. He's an up and comer. He's first campaign right here. This is his first campaign. Definitely consider sharing for sure, please, because a lot of times you don't realize the power of a tweet, of a share. It goes a long way. Even sharing this stream goes a long way. We had I think was it Nilo here with us, and Nella. Nella was here. Hey Strings backed. Awesome. Check that out. You got a backer.
All
Hey
right, thank
Strings,
you.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. Michael's very, very happy. So see, some people get on a little bit late, but hey, you got a backer. That's amazing. And we were just saying, guys, we appreciate the shares. It goes a long way in a lot of these underground indie books getting seen, because a lot of the problem is there's just a lot of great projects and they're just not getting just a little bit of time. So definitely pretty cool. Rod Looper, thank you for showing up, buddy. He's a great dude, a great artist. I'm going to be doing a top secret project with him later on. Hastings is the one who backed your book, which is pretty cool. Nella was with us since the beginning. Nella, thank you so much for drawing, talking space zombies with us, and handling it when I got kicked out. For some reason, I don't know how, I got kicked out like 3 times on my own show, and Michael was probably wondering what was going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead air there.
Yeah, so Nella says, send hints to Gilly to inform about a stream a day earlier. There you go. So guys, thank you. I need to start boosting this a little bit a day in advance. I'm learning. This was my first streamcast here. Michael's been a great guest, and I'm gonna hope to back this book as well. I want to see those first 2 issues. So hopefully you're keeping this in demand if you fund.
Yeah.
Thank you. So please, if it keep it, I'll probably fund during the in demand phase, because I got like 4 books that I need to back, and I'm like, just let me know when that last day of in demand is, because I'll back. So
yeah, so like,
yeah.
Yes, my plan is like we'll keep it in demand while the issues are in production. So like, if we only reach issue 3, I'll cut off in demand when we're done with issue 3 and sending it to printers.
And there you go. So guys, there you have it. We got a lot with Michael Beacon. Definitely check out 7 Legions. I think it's an amazing book. Star Wars meets Kurosawa and Skyrim. Okay, it's going to be big. It's going to be vast. Space Nazis included. Okay, demonic space Nazis. So if you want to see some samurai going at it against space Nazis, I'm signed up just on that. You know what I mean? So definitely, guys, I'm going to close it out here. Definitely check out, if you haven't checked out Michael's 7 Legions, check it out. Check out Galactic Rodents of Mayhem. That's a book that I'm putting together, a very cool book. Check that out if you haven't. Thank you so much, Mike. So this is what we got to do, guys. This is what it's about, community. You know what I mean? That's all it's about. So hopefully I have some people for Thursday's show. And don't forget, support your indie comics, baby, through crowdfunding. We need you, and a lot of our stories can't live without you. So thanks, guys, for stopping in. Please like and subscribe. Definitely throw a comment there, what you think of Michael's project, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Appreciate you so much, and take care.